It's a question mark. Okay, so, but they got give us the information. They say that 84% of the crops weigh more than, so that means this X is the crop, way more than 152. So this is your probability, 84%. Okay, so now how are we going to know where exactly is 84%? So if you go to page 234, you try to add up the probability. Which one? The probability here of 152 will be 0.84. So 152 is equal to what? Can you tell me? Is you have 0.3413, 0.3413, then you, or I don't have to. I know that this over here is 0.5. So I just 0.3413 plus 0.5. Correct? So do I get 0.8413? So it's around 84%, am I right? So that means 152 is equivalent to what? Mean minus the standard deviation, am I right? Okay. So the next one, probability, they say. Probability of 16% weigh more than 200. So X more than 200. Probability is 0.16. And you should know that if according to this shape, more than must shade to the right. And this is 0.16. So if you look at 0.16, it should be 0.1359. You get this from 0.1359 plus 0.0215, and the last one 0.0013. All right, so you get about 0.16. So that means 200 is the same as mean plus standard deviation. So now you have two equations. From here, you form two equations. One is mean minus standard deviation is the same as 152. Mean plus standard deviation is equal to 200. So now if I solve these two, I add up, I got 2 times of mean is equal to 352. So the mean is equal to 176 grams. So therefore, 176 plus standard deviation equal to 200. So the standard deviation equal to 24. You see, Anna, for this case, it happened, they give you the very nice probability. Let you know later. Okay, now, like for example, that is very good for our sales. Okay, this is our sales. We always say the standardized score, correct? Your ETA is based on your standardized score for every subject. It's not your raw score. Do you know that? How do they calculate your standardized score? Okay, so I'm going to give you a scenario. I have a student. A. So he take the subject EAL, and he got the mark for EAL. Okay, EAL, I use X. The mark for EAL is 80. Then he took a max study, max method. Max method, I call it Y. And his result is 52. Okay, based on these two raw score, can you tell me, student A performed better in EAL or in max? Okay, definitely you will say EAL, but I say on what basis you say so? Maybe EAL paper is easy, everyone score very high. So when we want to compare with the group, the whole group. I have to know how is the whole group perform. Correct? So usually for about IQ or whatsoever, the distribution of the mark or distribution of the IQ and so on, they are normally distributed. Correct? So now, what should I know? So every time, every subject at the mark they get, what they do is they will calculate the mean and the standard deviation. All these are computerized. Okay, now I say, for example, okay, it's normally distributed with a mean of 82. And a standard deviation of 5. Okay, now for max method is also normally distributed as a whole, as a group. Okay, the mean is 53. And the standard deviation is 10. Now, based on this, can you tell me, is performed better in EAL or in max? So what can I do to know that whether he performed better than EAL or in max? So I can count the proportion or the percentage of people who get more than him. Can you do so if you have a graphic calculator? You can, am I right? So now you calculate probability of X more than 80. And you count probability of Y more than 52. You know, these two probability definitely more than 0.5 because his score is always less than the mean. Am I right? So I can use my graphic calculator. I go to normal CDF. Okay, can you start practicing? Okay, 0.6554. Okay, how about in max method? Okay, in max method, yes, only 0.5398. So now, can you tell me, student A performed better in max or in EAL? Definitely in max. Am I right? Definitely is in max. So I can make a conclusion. Because the percentage of students who score better than student A is higher in EAL than in max. Therefore, the student perform better in max method. Okay, so now if I don't have a graphic calculator, what can I do? Okay, what can I do? Yeah, go. What can I do? So now I want to teach you how are we going to transform any normal distribution. We try to standardize it. There is your Z. And this standard normal distribution, okay, is a normal distribution. The mean is 0, the standard deviation is 1. Clear? Okay, so now for EAL, the mean is 82. So the standard score will be 0. That means anyone, if the standard score is 0, you know it's the same as the value of the mean of that distribution. 10. So for max, the mean is 53. So if you get 53 marks in max method, your standard score is 0. Are you okay? Okay. Now, if you get 63, there is 1 standard deviation away. The standard score will be 1. So that means if you score between 53 and 63, the standard score will be between 0 and 1. If your standard score, if your score is 73, your standard score will be 2. If it's 83, the standard score will be 3 for max method. If you score 43, the standard score will be -1. 33, the standard score will be -2. 23, the standard score will be -3. So for EAL, '87, the standard score will be 1. You see what is a vast difference? So when I want to compare, I only compare the standardized score. Okay, when is 92, the standard score will be 2. And 97, the standard score is 3. So you see, standard score for max method is 3 if you score 83. But for EAL, you must score 97 in order to have a standard score of 3. So look, 77, the standard score is -1. 75, 72, the standard score is -2, and so on. Yeah. So now, how? If I got any value, so that means this is the formula that every one of us have to remember. The standard score is equal to the raw score minus the mean, divide by the standard deviation. So this is the formula that, so you look, without calculating the percentage of people who score better than this student, I can find the standard score and compare the value of the standard score. So for Z of X, so his score for EAL is 80. So my X is 80. Take away, the mean is 82. The standard deviation is 5. So the answer is -0.4. For max method, His score is 52. The mean is 53. The standard deviation is 10. So this is equal to negative 0.1. So ZY is greater than ZX. So I will say that student A performed better in max method than in EAL. So the purpose of us changing into a standard score is to help us to make a quick comparison. We don't have to take the trouble to go and find the probability. So when you talk about your eta, all are this base. So all you see, okay? Sorry, the Z score for 200 is Z1. Okay? So the Z score for 152, I let it be Z2. All right? So now, can I write down that probability of Z more than Z1 is equal to 0.16? Same thing, correct? I say for any normal distribution. Regardless of their mean and standard deviation. If this is the corresponding Z-score, then it should give you the same probability. So now, I want to ask you one question. Do you know how to find Z1? Do you know how to find Z1 using your graphic calculator? You use inverse norm. So can everyone try to find Z1 using inverse norm? And you know that the mean for this one is 0 and the standard deviation is 1. I cannot directly straight away go inverse norm for X because I don't know the mean, don't know the standard deviation. Okay, do you get the Z1? Elliot, can you give me what is the value of Z1?
I got negative 0.99.
Negative?
Negative
How can
0.99.
it be negative? How can it be negative? You tell me.
I have no idea. Sorry, there's a lot of echo here.
Okay, how can you say you have no idea? How do you key in?
I keyed in 0.16 into the area, and then after that I keyed in 0 into the, what do you call it, the mean, and for the standard variation I keyed in 1.
Then
apparently I don't have the tail function.
that's why yesterday I asked anyone without the tail function or not. You didn't ask me?
Sorry, I didn't know that my calculator doesn't have tails.
How can you don't know? Yesterday, did you try?
Nope.
That's why. Okay, anyone, your graphic calculator without the tail, you must always key in area to the left of what you are interested in. That means you want to find. So that means you are supposed to key in this area. So when you key in 1 minus 0.16. So don't come back to Miss Do and say you don't know what to do. It's always, that is how your calculator is being programmed. So this is 0.99. So you get 0.99446, right? Those have the right, you just put in right and left. Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay, so can you please do the same for your Z2? So this one you have to key in 1 minus for those who don't have left and right. So this one you get negative 0.994458. Right? So now, can you please write a formula that shows the relationship between this and this? And this and this. So my Z2 is negative 0.994458. This is equal to my X value 152 minus the mean that I don't know divided by the standard deviation. Am I right? So my 0.994458 is equal to the X value is 200. Take away the mean divided by the standard deviation. Now you got two equations with two unknown. Do you think you are able to find the answer? The answer is a yes. So I got negative 0.994458. Standard deviation is equal to 152 minus mean. 0.994458 times by the standard deviation is equal to 200 minus the mean. Solve for this. 0 equal to 352 minus 2 times the mean. So therefore, the mean is the same as 176 grams. So you get the mean, you put inside, you get the standard deviation. Are you okay? Okay.